Hi everyone. Today we will continue with our lectures. This is second lecture of Unit 5 for concrete technology. So in this lecture I will be discussing topics like sulfur impregnated concrete, polymer concrete, lime concrete, their uses and constituents. So the first topic is sulfur impregnated concrete. So sulfur impregnated concrete or infiltrated concrete has improved the strength and other physical properties of concrete such as corrosion resistance and water permeability. So what has happened that molten sulfur has been used by mixing it with aggregates, and when it cools down it gives a fairly good strength, resistance to acid and other chemical things. But the problem of such method was that the cost of sulfur was very high. So in recent methods, what we have done is we are not using sulfur directly. What we are doing is we are adding sulfur or impregnating sulfur in concrete, which obviously improves the quality of the concrete, but not adding the cost. So what we are doing is we are using partially, adding sulfur in concrete instead of adding sulfur as a binding material. So now we have applications of sulfur impregnated concrete. So they can be used in precast industry and precast roof elements, sewer pipes, uh, because they show a high corrosion resistance. They can be used in coastal areas for construction. Okay. So next topic we will discuss is polymer concrete. Uh, Before we discussing polymer concrete, we will discuss what is a polymer. So it's basically a collection of monomers which have tendency to be linked in chain-like structures. So collection of monomers is called polymers. So and by the process of polymerization, these monomers are converted into polymers. You must have studied in your organic in the chemistry part. So how are they important in concrete technology? So these polymers, they are inert materials which have high tensile and compressive strength when compared to concrete. But on the other hand, they have lower modulus of elasticity and higher creep, which is not required. So these properties can be degraded by using oxidizing agents, heat oxidizing agents, ultraviolet lights, and chemicals and microorganisms. And these disadvantages can also be overcome by choosing a proper polymer. For example, adding substance to the polymer like antioxidants and etc. So these elements can be used, but with care in concrete. So this is so we will discuss three types of polymer concrete. First one is polymer impregnated concrete, PIC. Second one is polymer cement concrete, and third one is polymer concrete. Of the three, polymer impregnated concrete is very important, and this is the most widely used. The reason is that it is a fairly simple process. Polymer cement concrete and polymer concrete has specific applications, and obviously they need very special care in production. So it is not very common to use these types of concrete, but the PIC is very common. I mean, if you compare with these two types. So polymer impregnated concrete, how is it prepared? So conventional Portland cement concrete is dried and subsequently saturated with liquid monomers. Example, methyl methacrylate, MMA. So you should remember this word, methyl methacrylate, MMA. And after that, polymerization is done by using gamma radiation or thermal catalyst methods. With so these methods can so this impregnation can be achieved up to greater depths by using higher temperatures. But for larger members, the rate of heating and cooling should be controlled to prevent cracking. So if you heat it too quickly or cool it too quickly, it can lead to development of cracks. Okay. So again, I have discussed this. This is MMA. So this is one of the commonly used monomer. So properties, or we can say advantages of PIC. So this is the structure for MMA. You can see. So the first thing we will discuss stress strain relationship. So if you see this curve here, and we have stress strain curve. The first one is the MMA impregnated concrete. So concrete in which this polymer has been loaded or added, and the second one is a normal concrete. So what we can see is the proportional limit is higher, and the curve is more linear. So what happens that modulus of elasticity is increased from 27 GPa to 49 GPa when we use MMA loading. Okay, so obviously it is better compared to normal concrete. So if we see the compressive strength and tensile strength, so we have to differentiate. For example, this machine is used for testing compressive strength. This one is for using split tensile strength. Okay, so loading is done in this manner in a cylindrical specimen, and we have tension in this part and it cracks. And the third one is flexural strength, this one. So all of these machines you can see in your lab, in concrete technology lab and advanced material testing lab in our university. So now we'll discuss what happens. So compressive strength of PIC can be improved up to 63% using MMA. So if you see this graph, we have polymer loading, that is percentage of polymer added by weight. Then we have compressive strength, and then we have split tensile strength, this one. Okay, so the upper curve is the compressive strength, and the lower curve is the split tensile strength. So what we see, as we add the polymer, it's increasing. So the more polymer you add, the better tensile strength you get, or the better compressive strength you get. Okay. So strength up to 144 MPa can be achieved when we use 6.4% MMA. So here you can see up to 4.5%, but if you use 6.4% MMA, it can be improved. So the tensile strength can be also improved up to 3.9 times in PIC. For flexural strength, last one, it showed an increase up to 3.6 times the normal concrete. So generally concrete is very weak in flexure, but using polymer, for example MMA, this can be increased up to 3.6% times. So other advantages we have, they exhibit lower creep and lower shrinkage, drying shrinkage. They exhibit high resistance to freezing and thawing. They exhibit high resistance to abrasion and chemical attacks when compared to normal concrete. Okay, all of these improvements can be can be controlled, or by using water cement ratio, depth of impregnation, efficiency of polymerization, and degree of continuity. So these improvements depend on these factors. The only drawback of such polymer such concrete is its cost. It's very expensive to make such concrete. So next topic we have polymer cement concrete. So how is it different from the topic we have discussed now? In this polymer cement concrete, we use polymer along with Portland cement. So in the previous one we were using partially. So we were impregnating a polymer by using suitable agent and heat and radiation. But in this method we are using polymer along with the Portland cement. So that's why it's called polymer Portland cement concrete, double PC, or latex modified cement. So latex modified concrete. So the monomers which are used in such type of concrete are polystyrene, epoxystyrene, etc. So you don't need to remember all the names, but a few names you should remember. The composition. So I will just explain the whole gist of the thing. Actually, what happens that when we use such polymers, they interfere with the hydration process, which can degrade the strength of concrete. So what we use certain pre-polymers, which reduce the this interference in the hydration process, and this and sometimes emulsion is also used to increase the lubrication when we use such concrete. The point here is we require specialized methods and few chemicals in order to prepare such concrete. This is the point which makes it not very common. So like the earlier one we just discussed. So these are some of the requirements of polymer concrete, of the polymers used in concrete. You should know them. For example, in order to have a strong bond, there should be a film. The latex under ambient condition must able to form a film which coats the cement and aggregate particles. So you should have all these conditions. So properties, polymer cement concrete are highly impermeable. Okay, so there are no cracks, and water cannot pass through it. So it is very impermeable, and as it is very impermeable, the water cannot pass. So the reinforcement which are used are not corroded, and in such case the life of the structure is increased. So high durability is there. And the third part is they are very resistant to weather conditions. They are not affected by changing weather conditions. So application, so the first application of such concrete is in bridge deck coverings, because bridges, they are designed for very long period of time, and they are very costly structures with reinforcements and a lot of steel elements. So in order to protect such structures, we need a very durable covering. So polymer cement concrete can be used in such situations. The next point is floor construction. Obviously, the floor is exposed to a lot of wear and tear. So using such type of concrete in floor is very important. And the third one is in precast concrete. So these are the applications of polymer cement concrete. So the last part in the polymer concrete is polymer concrete. So in polymer concrete we only use polymer. So polymer and aggregates we used, and obviously polymer is, as you know, inert, non-reactive. So we need to have certain temperature and certain catalyst so that it reacts with the aggregate and forms a concrete. So you should remember, in polymer concrete we do not have any Portland cement. Earlier method we had cement, but in polymer concrete we only have polymer and aggregates. Okay. So one of the condition is that the moisture content of the aggregate used in such concrete should be low, and it should have a proper gradation. Okay, the size should be proper. So the fresh polymer concrete can be compacted as we compact the conventional concrete. And okay, the most important reason or reasons for development of such concrete is its hydrophobic characteristics and resistance to chemical attacks. So what happens if when as it is hydrophobic, it helps in minimizing the cracks during freezing. Okay, where there is no water. So when there is no water, there is no freezing, and when there is no freezing, there are no cracks. So as we know, volume of water increases when when it freezes. So the last part is it is resistant to chemical attacks. So obviously it increases the age of the structure. The strength up to 140 MPa can be obtained using polymer concrete and with very short curing period. So it has specific uses, in special projects where we have short curing period and high strength requirement, we can use polymer concrete. So uses, it can be used for quick repairs in high volume traffic highways. So on highways we have continuous movement of traffic, so we cannot close it for a very long time, because as you know, concrete takes 28 days, 8 days to achieve its ultimate strength, or like most of the strength, and it needs curing, proper curing, all those things, compared to bitumen and other things. So using PCC in PC polymer concrete in such scenario is very suitable. So it can be also used in manufacturing of precast wall panels reinforced with steel fiberglass. It can be used in floor blocks. It can also be used in production of thin walled fiber reinforced pipes for water and sewage. So obviously, if you have a concrete which is very resistant to corrosion and it's highly impermeable, so using it in pipelines for water is very uh, suitable. So the last topic for this lecture is lime concrete. So so it is a concrete from a mixture of lime, sand, and gravel, and it was widely used before it was replaced by Portland cement. So as you can see, this wall masonry using lime concrete. So lime is great binding material. Calcium carbonate, when heated above 1000 degrees Celsius, gives quick lime and carbon dioxide. So this quick lime is very pure form of lime, and it is very highly reactive. So it cannot be stored for a very long period of time. So not more than a week. So when lime is mixed with water, it slowly turns into mineral. So it is called slaking of lime. So we what we do is we add water in lime overnight, and it is exothermic process. Evolves a lot of heat and forms slaked lime. Which is uh, which is used as which can be used as mortar when mixed with sand and all those things. And slowly and steadily, after it reacts with CO2, here you can see CO2, and it forms a very hard mass. So it gains strength. So it can be classified into fat lime, hydraulic lime, and poor lime. You must have studied these the classification of lime in your BMC course. So the uses and precautions. Lime can be used for foundation basis of load-bearing walls, columns, and underlayers of floors. It can be used as underneath base, ground, and upper construction of cement base. And for better quality of lime concrete, compaction and curing is very important. So now lime causes rashes if you touch it for a very long period of time. So it should be handled using rubber gloves, or the person should use oil before handling such kind of material. So even to improve the quality of the lime concrete, certain admixtures and fibers can also be used. Okay. So lastly, we have drawbacks of lime concrete. Lime takes a lot of time to gain strength when compared to the normal concrete. So time is the problem, and the curing time is also longer. And if water is present where we have done the masonry, or where we have used the lime concrete, it does not harden compared to cement. For example, we have rapid hardening cement for underwater constructions and all those things, but lime does not harden if the water is present, so it has limited applications. So we have completed 3 topics in this lecture: sulfur concrete, lime concrete, and polymer concrete. So please go through the lecture and answer the questions which will be sent to you through Google Forms, and this will ensure your attendance. And all the questions which will be asked in Google Form will be from this lecture. Okay. So thank you.